Matt, what kept you in it?
Well, I think, we had good effort. I thought our guys did a good job, just being ready to play and understanding different things that they were running, and not really trying to take them out of it, but just trying to be aware. You got to try your best to keep the ball out of the post against Wisconsin, but more than anything, they have quickness at every position, just trying to keep the basketball in front of you. And I thought at times, when we had success, that's what we did. And then at other times when they had success, they were getting angles on us, whether that was out of the post or out, driving.
Just how pleased were you with the defense on Kaminsky? He had 21 points, but fairly quiet. Definitely didn't beat you guys, so to speak.
Well, I think I'd say if he had 21, he played pretty well. The game was one loss in the free throw line, and we had to be able to get to the free throw line, and we didn't. And they were able to get there. But Frank's a great player. He's worked really hard. He can hurt you in so many ways. His matchup is it's easy to say how to stop him. It's really hard to do. Keep him in front of you, take him out of rhythm, don't let him get to the sweet spot. But he's a kind of a big guard. He can dribble. He can he's not just a one-way driver. He can play in the mid post, low post, or play on the perimeter, and that gives us some difficulties. And so we put our 4 on him and tried to knock him out of the post the best we could. Then we put our 5 on Nigel Hayes and really tried to give help when he had the ball also. But it's a tough matchup. It's a tough matchup for everybody, though.
Matt, you said earlier this week that Wisconsin might be the best team in the country as far as controlling the tempo or making you play at their tempo. And do you feel like you guys combated that well? Okay, or is that reflected in the free throws? Does that show that it was still kind of played at their...
Well, you can't control how someone calls it. I think that's, and you guys talked about life on the road. That's one of the variables. I don't think we did a very good job adjusting to how things were called. Things were called touch on the perimeter, and then there was a bloodbath inside, and those weren't called. And we didn't do a good job of playing through that on the perimeter. And we had to do a better job of moving our feet, and we didn't. And then we had to do a better job of just staying positive when we didn't get some calls and playing through that. But that's part of it. That's life on the road. Hopefully we can learn from it, and then next time it happens, make the adjustment.
Tom, Matt, here.
Yes.
How did you like what you did with Kaminsky? You stuck with it the whole game, so obviously you were liking what.
Well, we just, he had 14 free throws. We wanted to keep him off the free throw line. We wanted him to score over us, and then when he got by us, we wanted to bring help. And that's hard because he's a good passer and he's a good player. But our whole game plan was to try to keep him in front of. We just didn't want them to steal points on us from the free throw line. They obviously shot a lot of free throws, but that was our game plan to do that. And if you're going to beat Bo Ryan, especially here, you got to beat them at their game. And people that come in here and beat them playing their game, are really, really talented. One of the top 5 or 6 teams in the country. Most people, you've got to be able to beat him at his game. And I thought we were in position to do that. We out-rebounded him. We kept our turnovers down. We had a couple costly ones. I told our guys we had to have 10 turnovers or less, and we had 12. So if we get those 2 possessions back, we can make plays at that point. It's going to be a possession game going down to the wire.
Matt, how much did it impact you to not have Kendall in terms of everything he means to you offensively from what he brings to the game?
That was a big loss for us. He's got to be able to adjust, with those calls. But he was hand checking those guys, and those were good calls. And but we didn't, we didn't have the level of a shooter that can stretch the defense that's made big shots before. And so now that we're not going to be able to drive as well, and we're not going to be able to post up and have the same type of space when he's out of the game. They got to give him a lot of attention, especially Gasser, who's a great defensive player. But when you're on the same side with him, it opens up some driving lanes and some post-ups.
We're in this until the end. Are you happy with the way you played tonight, the team?
Yeah, I mean, at times, we play really well, but it's going to take 40 minutes. It's going to take 40 minutes to win ball games like that, and we got another big one coming up, and it's going to take 40 minutes. So, we did some good things, and there's some things that we need to work on as a group.
What kept you in it?
We knew the scouting report really well. The coaches got us prepared for it, and I felt like we guarded well, minus the fouling, and we just got to be better. We got to play with our hands off. But other than that, I think we out-rebounded them by 5. Our turnovers were 12 to 8, so, I mean, they got us just 4 more possessions than we did as far as turnovers go. But I think we just fought, played well.
I know you guys lost, but I mean, you had the 2 big comebacks the first 2 Big Ten games. You come in to a really hard place to play against number 14 and are in it the entire way. I mean, are there a ton of positives, from these first 3 games, especially tonight, going into the Maryland game?
Yeah, there's some positives, but you want to win. And when you don't win, you got to go back and you got to figure out what you did wrong, and then you got to build from that. So I hope that's how we'll approach that. We're not satisfied with 2 teams in the Big Ten. Granted, they were good teams. We played really well. We were at home. We got to get road wins. Got to get them on the road, and we can't lose at home against them or any other team.
Since Coach Painter said you guys didn't feel like you guys adjusted well to the way the game was being called, like what was your impression as you were out on the floor of the dynamic that was happening with the fouls and how you guys tried to play with that?
It's a road game, so you can't expect anything. So what was happening, we should have expected it. We're not at home. We're away from our comfort zone. So I feel like we need to just take that out of our minds and just keep playing. That's how it's going to be on the road, no matter where we play.
Times in a game, just how physical was that out there tonight?
It really wasn't that physical. Some of it was like balance. I wasn't able to keep my balance sometimes, and that's what ultimately got me that flagrant one. And also, he was wrapping my leg, and that was a foul. But physically, it was tougher to post up with those guys being a lot stronger and being able to fight around. So I had to pick and choose when I was going to post up instead of just battling. It had been good. But I think ultimately, as we go on with the Big Ten, it's going to help me.
Isaac, what do you have to do differently to avoid those flagrant fouls, or is there anything that you can really do differently?
I'm just going to have to keep my hands in front of me and not out. I've been known to just, get a deep post position and keep my arms out, and that's something coaches addressed me to not do. And I just let, fatigue get the best of me out there, and I did the same thing instead of keeping my hands up and out and just getting it, and that's what got me the foul.
Was that not an issue at lower levels because either the players weren't as tall and your elbow wasn't at their face, or because they weren't guarding you maybe as tight as what you're being guarded here?
I think they were guarding me as tight, but it's just they weren't as tall. So now whenever my elbows are up, they're at somebody else's face. It's unfortunate, but something I'm going to have to work around for my college career.
Isaac, obviously no moral victories, but you guys feel like you did a lot of positive things tonight that you can carry over to Maryland?
I felt like we had a lot of fight in us, and that I just had that good feeling the whole game, like we were going to pull this off, and we were doing some things right, and then we did some small things wrong that ultimately ended up in buckets and fouls. But overall, I felt like we did pretty good. I just hope that we can keep that same fight and that same, aggressive behavior over towards Maryland, and we can pull that win off.
You start off this game with probably one of the bigger defensive challenges you've faced as a college player. What was your approach going up and trying to slow down Kaminsky?
Like you said, just trying to slow him down, try to keep him limited. What he does, Kaminsky's one of the best all-around players in college and one of the best centers in the country. So just my goal going in is just try to limit him to his standards. So I was just trying to do everything I can to help my team out there, limit him and help us win.
This seemed to be another good defensive performance for the team, except for the fouls. Where do you think things went wrong as far as maybe either adjusting to how the game was called or adjusting to how Wisconsin was playing?
I just feel like we just have to do a better job of breaking down and just moving our feet. It's life on the road. We got to handle adversity. We got to handle the crowd. We got to handle everything. It's life on the road. So we just got to handle everything better.
Do you guys feel it when the free throws are that lopsided during a game? Does it become a frustration point that you have to try to shrug off?
Like I said, it's life on the road. There's nothing you can do about it. Honestly, if you look at it, we were 3 for 7. We make all 7, and we're in the game still. There's still a chance to win. So, like Coach Payne said, it's just life on the road. It's how it goes.
In your first Big Ten road game, do you feel like you guys handled everything but the foul line issues right?
I feel like we handled things right. I mean, I don't think we got out of sync. We got out of sync a couple times, but I don't think everybody just fell apart. We put each other back together and we stayed with it. We kept fighting. We didn't just give up, and that was one thing that we can take out of this. We just got to be more disciplined in more areas down the stretch. I feel like they gave us a chance to win, and we didn't take it. We just like I said, we just have to be more disciplined down the way. But this game right here shows how good we can be as a team.
There were a lot of